back onto coronavirus. How can it really spread? Can you make your own hand sanitizer to prevent it? You guys are asking so many great questions about this outbreak. We really appreciate it. So ABC will present a special 2020 tonight aimed at answering your questions. ABC Chief Medical Editor Dr. Jennifer Ashton joins me now with a preview of that. Hey, I know you've been really busy. Thank you for answering all of our questions. What can we expect tonight on 2020?
Well, Sonia, and I know you've been really busy too, and you and I have been in touch. I think what viewers are going to see tonight is not just a chronology of this outbreak since the beginning, but insights, analysis, and perspective that I think will really help put this into perspective, both for you as an individual and also for certain populations and our country and the world. So it's going to be really unprecedented in terms of all those different layers that we're going to be tackling.
And I know you guys are giving people the opportunity to ask questions. I've got some for you from our viewers. The first one about this second strain that we've been talking about for the last couple of days. Can you clarify, because it's not really a mutation, right?
That you're absolutely correct. It's a small study out of China that did identify 2 strains. So think of this as you would when we talk about seasonal influenza. We always talk about what strains are in this year's vaccine. Think of this the same way. One does appear to be more common and maybe more transmissible or spreadable, but that doesn't mean more severe. So definitely no evidence that there's mutation, because scientists are checking the DNA fingerprint of this virus every time basically they're doing testing, and that's part of the surveillance. So don't get too bogged down on the 2 strains.
Yeah, and then testing is another big question that we're getting from people who are like, who should be tested if you're asymptomatic but feel like you want to be tested. You know, why aren't they testing those people?
Right.
Why aren't some people being tested as they come back to the U.S. from Italy, for instance? What can you tell us about that?
Oh, wow. That could be a whole hour, Sonia. Testing and the testing strategy is really, really important here. We need to test more people, and we need to test people who don't have symptoms to get a better handle on how prevalent or common this is. But that doesn't mean that right now everyone with a fever or a cough can or even should be tested. We have to remember there's a saying in medicine, common things occur commonly. So based on your travel history, if you haven't been to an affected area or a country hotspot here in the US, meaning New York City right now and Washington State, you're much more likely to have any number of other respiratory viruses like flu than you are to have coronavirus. So we will be seeing some frustration occurring right now with testing, and that's making patients as well as medical providers nervous and frustrated. But we have to remember, at this point, not everyone can or should be tested.
And I haven't seen anything sort of around spread through sweating or spread through mosquitoes. Is that still the case, or have we found out anything about more about the transmission?
Nope. You're totally read in. You're correct. We haven't found out any other ways of transmission right now. Because this is from the coronavirus family that causes other respiratory viruses, you know, the assumption is that it's spread basically 2 ways. Respiratory droplets, that's not airborne, that's a different thing. So these are large viral particles that they're heavy, so they fall. But if you're within 3 to 6 feet of someone who's coughing and sneezing, that's one possible / likely way of transmission. The other one is contact. I touch something, I shake your hand, then I touch my face. That's why we say it's so important. Hand washing, keeping your hands clean is incredibly critical in reducing transmission. Okay,
Dr. Jen Ashton, thank you so much for your time. And you guys, you can watch 2020 Outbreak, What You Need to Know, tonight at 8 o'clock right here on WFAA. Of course, followed by all the day's latest developments on coronavirus on WFAA News at 10.